Let's find out when we need to add the probabilities of two events, and when to multiply. If you hear the word probability of an event for the first time, then first look at the lesson on the link in the description. Let's consider two random events. Events are called incompatible if the occurrence of one event excludes the occurrence of another. The sum of two random events is when we have an event either B or A, and both events cannot occur at once. And the probability of the sum of two incompatible events is equal to the sum of the probabilities of these two events. For example, we take out one ball from the box at random. What is the probability that the ball will turn out to be either green or red? We have a total of 10 balls in the box, and when we take out a green ball, it excludes the appearance of a red ball. And vice versa, if we take out a red ball, it excludes the appearance of a green ball. The probability of the appearance of a green ball is equal to 3/10. The probability of the appearance of a red ball is also equal to 3/10. Our events are incompatible, and to get the probability of the appearance of either a green or a red ball, we need to use the formula and add up these two probabilities. We get 6/10. Now let the next two events be independent. This means that the probability of the occurrence of one event does not depend on the probability of the occurrence of another event. I multiply two events. This means that we must have two events at once, both event A and event B. And the probability of the occurrence of two independent events is equal to the probability of these events. Consider an example. We take out one ball from two boxes at random. What is the probability that both balls will turn out to be yellow? Event A is from the first box, we get a yellow ball. Event B is from the second box, we get a yellow ball. And in this case, events A and B are independent. That is, the appearance of a yellow ball from the first box does not depend on the occurrence of a yellow ball from the second box and vice versa. The probability of the occurrence of a yellow ball from the first box is equal to 1/6. The probability of the occurrence of a yellow ball from the second box is equal to 8/12. And to find the probability of the occurrence of two yellow balls, I need to multiply these two probabilities. I will factorize both the numerators and denominators of the two fractions and cancel out the 4s. So I get the probability equal to 1/9. So this is the probability of the occurrence of two yellow balls from boxes. Now consider the same two boxes. We also take one ball at a time from these boxes and calculate the probability of the occurrence of balls of different colors. We have two possible cases. This is when we get a green ball from the first box and a yellow ball from the second box. And the second case is when, on the contrary, we get a yellow ball from the first box and a green ball from the second box. Let's calculate the probability of the occurrence of the first event. A green ball from the first box appears with a probability of 5/6. A yellow ball from the second box appears with a probability of 8/12. Our events are independent and should occur at the same time, so we multiply these probabilities. I will reduce the second fraction, the numerator and the denominator by 4, and get a new fraction of 2/3. Multiply by 5/6 and get 10/18. And this is the probability when we get a green ball from the first box and a yellow ball from the second box. Let's calculate this probability. The appearance of a yellow ball from the first box is equal to 1/6. The probability of the appearance of a green ball from the second box is equal to 4/12. Also, the events are independent and should occur both. I also reduce the second fraction by 4 and multiply it with the first one and get a new fractio 1/18. And now look, event B and event A are not joint events. The occurrence of event A excludes the occurrence of event B, and vice versa. And now, to get the probability of the sum of such events, we need to use the formula and add the probability of the occurrence of these events. And this will be the probability that we get balls of different colors from the boxes. Now let events A and B be joint. This means that events can occur both. And the probability of the sum of such events will be calculated by the formula. Let's look at an example right away. Two shooters are shooting at the target. What is the probability of at least one hit to the target? The probability of hitting the target of the second shooter is 0.9. The second shooter's hair is in the way of his aim, so the probability of hitting the target is equal to 0.8. We can have the following variance of events. The first shooter hits, the second misses. The first shooter misses, the second hits. Then both shooters can hit the target. And also both shooters can miss. We need these variants of events. And since both shooters can hit the target, the events will be joint. And we need to use the formula. I substitute the value of probabilities and get the probability of at least one hit. Now let's find the probability when both shooters miss. But first let's consider what are the opposite events. Let event A be the shooter hitting the target. And event B is when the shooter misses. And these two events are opposite. Because here either one event or another occurs. And the sum of the probabilities of such events is 1. So to find the probability of the first shooter missing, we need to subtract the probability of the first shooter hitting the target from 1. We get 0.2. The same for the second shooter. Subtract the probability of hitting the target from 1. And we get the probability of missing the target. Now I will mark the misses of the shooters as events A and events B. And we need to find the probability of these two events occurring at the same time. The events are independent. The probability of one event occurring does not affect the probability of another event occurring. Therefore, I use the formula. I multiply two probabilities, and I get the probability of both shooters missing at once. Subscribe to the channel, write questions in the comments. Bye everyone.